of a change of pace. It's been about, what, 3 months that we've been doing this. And instead of having Guilty Gear on a Friday night, I think I might want to change it up with a bit of Halo instead. Now we will be playing Combat Evolved on Legendary. And in order to actually get through it, I'm pretty sure I'm going to need to be drunk. I've done it sober once before. And tonight we're just going to make sure that happens again, but I don't want to lose my cool on stream. Still don't want that to happen. Let's see, I think everything is ready to go, but I've spent the last 15 minutes trying to get logged into this darn thing. Not the most compatible with trying to get things done in a rush. But, just as a bit of evidence, you see me starting Legendary campaign right here. Music. Let's go with Classic for everything. Scoring and time HUD. We're not too concerned with that either. That's going to be blocked out by the chat anyway. You can probably tell that your professor has already gotten started, just to make sure that I was ready for the very beginning of this stream. First things first, we are going to make sure that we are in the old graphics. There's usually a negative reception to the anniversary graphics I hear from everyone. I actually have a soft spot for the anniversary graphics personally, but we'll do what everyone prefers. Goodness, I can't recount how many times I've seen this. So, how has everyone's week been? I've been extremely busy this week, which is why I've decided to go with something a bit more relaxing this time.
I think we both know the answer to that.
We made a blind jump. How did they...
Get here first? The Covenant
That's
ships
way
have
too
always
quiet.
been fast.
Let me know how the audio is
Tracking us
doing.
all the way from Reach, at light speed, my maneuvering options were limited.
We were running dark, yes?
Until we decelerated, no one could have missed the hole we tore in subspace. They were waiting for us on the far side of the planet.
So, where do we stand?
Our fighters are mopping up the last of their recon picket now, nothing serious. But
Kayla, looking forward to this. Pretty good week so far.
CCS class battle groups,
Glad to hear that.
ships per group. And in about
I've
90
been
seconds, they'll be
incredibly
all
busy
over.
myself.
Well, that's it then. Bring the ship back up to Combat Alert Alpha. I want everyone at their stations.
Everyone, sir?
Everyone. And Cortana,
Hmm?
let's give our old friends a warm welcome.
I've already begun.
Attention, all combat personnel. Please report your action status.
One little bit of trivia, which I'm pretty sure everyone knows at this point. Johnson's speech here and in the Halo 2 anniversary both change depending on what difficulty you're on. Usually with the most comedic one on Legendary difficulty itself.
You heard the lady. Move like you got a purpose.
This is not a drill.
Game needs to be a little bit louder indeed. I wonder if I can pause it without interrupting the cutscene.
Man, we let
I can. I was waiting on that. Wow, is everything on maximum? Huh. Everything is on maximum. I'll have to turn the game capture volume up for that itself. Let's see how that compares.
bugs out in the middle of nowhere to keep from getting their filthy claws on Earth. But we stumbled onto something that's so
Looks to be
hardcore
good.
that they're scrambling over each other to get it. Well, I don't care if it's God's own anti-son of a bitch machine or a giant hula hoop. We're not gonna let them have it. What we will let them have is a belly full of lead and a pool of their own blood to drown in.
Am I right, Marines?
Marines? Yes, sir.
Classic.
Damn right I am. Now move it out. Double time.
Attention all personnel. We are re-engaging the enemy. External and internal contact imminent.
All you greenhorns who wanted to see Covenant up close, this
This
is
is
gonna
gonna
be your lucky day.
I can't recount how many times I've watched this intro.
Sir?
Right. Let's thaw him out.
Okay. Bringing low-level systems online. Cracking the case in 30 seconds.
The character models look from 2010, but the texture work definitely seems like it's from 2015.
He's hot!
I
Blowing
think
the
they
pins in
did
5.
a great job on the quality of rework, but a lot of the Forerunner styling is lacking, to say the least. How's the audio there?
Come on, we got to get the hell out of here.
Defensive positions Alpha through Sierra.
Alright, boost up that look sensitivity.
Stand by to repel boarders.
Oh wow, that's gonna need to go way up. Unfortunately, it is not copied over my mouse sensitivity from my other profile. Hopefully everything should be good to go from there. That should suffice. First things first. There we go.
way!
And he's dead. We hardly knew you. Let me know how the game audio's doing. It's still quiet for me, but I've turned up the capture on OBS. So the rules here are going to be pretty simple. Every time I die, take a drink. Everyone out of the way, Chief coming through. Oh right, not through there. I thought we were meeting on the bridge. Alright, we gotta wait for these guys to talk. Halo indeed. I've been waiting for this. There we go, the door's open now.
Boarding parties at port decks 4, 7, and 12.
Out of my way.
Sir!
Okay.
The captain needs you on the bridge ASAP. You better follow me.
No alternate ways around, we just have to go follow this guy first. Oh, he's dead. He's dead too.
There it is!
Yeah, out of my way. I'm gonna need a weapon. Did ya miss me?
Captain Keys.
Good to see you, Master Chief. Things aren't going well. Cortana did her best, but we never really had a chance.
A dozen Covenant superior battleships against a single Halcyon-class cruiser. With those odds, I'm content with 3. Make that 4 kills. Sleep well?
No thanks to your driving, yes.
So you did miss me.
Always a classic snark. One thing I
Report.
find pretty
It
often
must
in
have been one
military
of their
games.
boarding parties. I'd guess an antimatter charge.
Ma'am! Fire control for the main cannon is offline!
Captain, the cannon was my last offensive option.
All right, then. I'm initiating Cold Protocol Article 2. We're abandoning the office. That means you too, Cortana.
While you do what? Go down with the ship?
In a manner of speaking. The object we found, I'm gonna try and land the Autumn on it.
With all due respect, sir, this war has enough dead heroes.
I appreciate your concern, Cortana, but it's not up to me. Protocol is clear. Destruction or capture of a shipboard AI is absolutely unacceptable, and that means you're leaving ship. Lock in a selection of emergency landing zones, upload them to my neural lace, and then sort yourself for a heart transfer.
Aye, aye, sir.
Which is where you come in, Chief. Get Cortana off this ship. Keep her safe from the enemy. If they capture her, they'll learn everything. Force deployment, weapons research, Earth.
I understand.
I'd talk over the cutscenes, but
The Autumn will
I think there'd be a bit of
continue
conflict with the sound.
to initiate a landing sequence. Not that you'll listen, but I'd suggest letting my subroutines handle the final approach.
Excellent work, Cortana. Thank you. Are you ready?
Yank me.
Yank me.
I must have watched this about 30 times.
Good luck, Master Chief.
Alright, we got the very
Your
fancy floppy
architecture
disk.
isn't much different from the Autos.
Don't get any funny ideas.
I don't keep it loaded, son. You'll have to find ammo as you go.
Funny how he mentions he doesn't keep ammo with him, but we find some just in the corridor out here. You know, I never paid too much attention to this one. Cute. A little fight for her, and then there's the Earth. What I do know is here on the anniversary version... oh wait, there it is. You look very, very closely. They got a little troll face in here. Funny little set of differences between the different versions. Alright. The headshots are going to be exceptionally easy on these guys. Ah, that's what it is. I don't have my melee key bound. We might have to be a little bit patient to make sure we get all of those set and ready. Melee. Well, it seems my coordination is already suffering. Excellent. I'll be able to focus.
Those Marines could use some help, Chief. Do what you do best.
And that is spam the plasma pistol. Damn it, hit it. You know, I thought the alcohol would have made this better, but it might actually make it worse. Oh, that's the wrong one. Alright, first things first, get rid of the tiny guys. Missing again and again. I think I had that set on 2.5 previously. You can tell I've pretty much chopped first-person shooters off of my radar. Which is a shame. They used to be my absolute favorite game to play. There we go. That's more my speed. Take cover and start charging because we don't have to worry about running out of battery in this game. So this is what you can expect for the remainder. My accuracy might get better though with more intake. First rule is obvious. Obviously take a drink every time I die, but what other conditions should we apply? There we go. Just needed to get used to the aiming system. What I find interesting about this game is just how functional the plasma rifle is, and compared to a lot of the other weapons that we have to deal with. Plasma rifle is a very underperforming weapon in the other games, but in this one, it's incredibly effective. Given that we are on Legendary, it would be best to use at least one plasma weapon. Yeah, keep your back turned. Nope, don't want that.
Oh yeah, just a little more.
Even if this is the game that has the best version of the assault
Move
rifle.
in, back to the airlock.
About time you showed up.
They're dead.
I'm going after him. Come on, over here.
The plasma rifle also does exceptional damage against the
They're
flesh
using our
enemies as
lifeboat
well.
airlocks to attach their boarding craft. We go out and they come in.
Clever bastards.
How'd that feel?
Thank you, Cornell. The biggest surprise I found last time I was playing was that the plasma rifle is actually exceptional against the flood as well. We are running out of the ammo for our most important weapon. We're gonna need to find some more. No way in hell I'm switching to that assault rifle for this. You know, we might be able to get by just using the
Down, there's two of us
plasma
here now,
rifle.
remember?
shields recharged, as is customary for this gameplay. Funny that Halo made it so popular. Such a definitive shooter for games going forward.
You are all gonna die!
That was me, my bad.
Hey, who's with me?
Shot and get that shot. We'll head back and grab that overshield just in case. Although I still see red on my radar here. And no, I don't. What's my flashlight button? There we go. Just grab another one of these. I might occasionally take a look at the anniversary graphics. What definitely looks nice here is a bunch of the Covenant architecture. However, the human architecture, where everything now has a lot of extra colors, while it does have its own flair, definitely suffers in the integrity of the original game's art design. And we're ready to get back to work. Thank you. I try to apply a little bit of snark, that's why I have so much love for military games like this. I don't think I've found a single military game that took itself entirely seriously. If you have to make a career out of killing people, well, you have to apply a bit of a dark sense of humor to it.
Who else wants some? I'll take you all on!
Uh-oh. Oh, he's dead. And so are you. Take cover for a little bit just because our mistakes are a lot more permanent in CE. We are getting an absolute surplus of grenades. Huh. Only takes about 4 or 5 shots to kill the orange guys. As I said, plasma rifle does a lot of work for us in this game. Harvest the ammo from our unfortunate fallen comrades. And for the most part, we shouldn't have any issue going through the first level. What's an interesting little tidbit about the rendering of the Anniversary Edition is that the game actually renders both the 2010 and the original 2001 at the same time. And you're able to just swap between those immediately. I need to practice the headshots here. It was originally a tech demonstration so that they could immediately show the differences between the new graphics and the old ones. But they decided it was a nice enough feature to have, so that's how they kept it. Instead of trying to separate both the Halo
Covenant, on the landing above
1
us.
regular game and the Anniversary Edition, just throwing them both in at the same time.
Oh, you like that? Yeah, hombre!
I can already feel my motor skills failing. This is definitely going to get only more fun. For you. Maybe not so much for me. This is the first of the very difficult challenges that we have to deal with. And not a single frag grenade to be found. Shields also take absolutely forever to recharge. I didn't even know you were down here. I'm going to try to challenge myself and see if we can get through the first level without a death. So, class, what else do you propose? Take a drink every time we die. But what other little conditions should we have to our little drinking game? How about another one every time we hear a word? The quotes for the Sanghili, the elites, are also Johnson's quotes played backwards, and pitch altered. The aforementioned word is actually his go. Might need a new plasma rifle very soon. Which, as long as I'm capable of killing all these guys on the last bit of my battery, shouldn't be an issue. Hopefully the weapon's back here. Ah, we're locked off. So it's just the chief and all these psychopaths in a room together. There we go. Get our... Where did he go? They mixed and matched around there, and I've already lost track of which one I was shooting at. Two on the left, one on the right. And two on the right. Ah, now that you're done here, you get to deal with me. And we'll just have to play as cautiously as possible. Oh lord, you want me to get through more than one level. What? Did not know about the reverse Johnson voice. Yeah, it's very interesting. That's actually how a lot of strange vocalizations are made as well. Another interesting thing that's surprisingly human vocalization is all of R2-D2's noises in the Star Wars movies are actual voice acted, but they've been put through a lot of filters in order to make them sound robotic. But every single one of those beeps and boops, including the signature Astromech scream, those were all done by a human. There we go. Took us about 4 tries, but we got that headshot. As for the getting through more than one level, it's definitely not that hard to get through Pillar of Autumn. Funny enough, for the longest time I was held up at the beginning of the second stage, where you're dropped with very little cover, and very little weapons to back yourself up with. Especially, not a single plasma weapon to be found until you've made your first few kills.
Combat teams on deck 7 and 8. Fall back.
Take a peek, and take a toss. And a 1, and a 2, and a 3. Take a drink just so that we keep it up. Oh, you're very much not alive. That landed right there. Bounced off the wall right in front of us. Oh well, you know the rules. There's our first forced drink of the night.
Combat teams on deck 7 and 8. Fall back to secondary defensive position.
I think this is our introduction to grenades. We did pick up some frags a moment ago. Where was that? Another thing is that the plasma weapons actually cause a lot of the enemies to flinch. A lot of human bullets won't do that. No talking. And find ourselves yet another hiding spot. The voice acting is also likely to suffer throughout tonight as well, so let me know if I slip up too much. You know, we never get any backstory on what that planet is that Halo's orbiting. That's a question I've always
The life
had.
pods are launching. We should hurry.
And already we are almost done here.
The Covenant
Pay no
are
attention
destroying
to
the
the big
life
green
pods.
man standing at the end of the hall.
Want us on that ring. Warning, blast doors closing. We have to use the ship's maintenance access ways. Follow the nav point, it will lead you to an opening.
Oh, right. I forgot about the tunnel crawling. Isn't this where the horror music kicks in? Yes, it is. This is also where they teach you about the nav points and the flashlight. As is necessary of every tutorial level. One other interesting fact about game design is that the first level is the one you often design last. It is the one you want to put in after you have an understanding of every mechanic you want to introduce in the game. And the one that, of course, the most people will play. So the first level is definitely the one you want to design the best. Peek. Ah, just this guy. And that guy. Funny how we have an abundance of plasma grenades and very few frags to be found on our own ship. Please tell me they're still there. Oh, take a drink. Ah, we got a word. And give it another shot here. We're doing a lot better than I thought I would. Maybe this won't be too horrible. Here's where we have the guys in here trying to look for us. He's just gonna stand there. Oh, right. That's why he just stands there and takes it. He's destined to die. I mean, technically they all are. They were put up against the chief. Ah, I guess you're not getting the achievement notifications I am. I'm gonna pour through all of them since I'm essentially playing this for the first time again. Sometime in the future when there's actually more of a viewer base, I would very much be interested in trying to do some multiplayer matches. Easy.
The damage to the superstructure is extensive.
One thing that I found very interesting is that you have a lot of Hispanic characters in the Marines here. He said mira, which is Spanish for look, as a command. And then the Mark V obviously is the chassis of Spartan that we're dealing with. Why did he go Leroy Jenkinsing if he had that low health? And no shields on top of it. That's right! Didn't they redo the port of this? Because I know for the longest time, all the other port editions of the Master Chief Collection, at least for Halo 1, were based off of the inferior Gearbox port that was put on PC. There were a couple of issues, including the fact that the shields didn't render colors differently correctly. We'll know once we start fighting jackals. I think I did hear some news about that a while ago. And here's where we get to have a bit of fun. No worry about running out of grenades here. That'll clear out a bit.
There's one last light. Quick, get aboard before it launches.
Oh no!
Now would be a very good time to leave.
It's not on your schedule to die today, Marine.
Punch it.
Oh, well, I suppose it is. He's going to be dying in about 10 minutes.
We're disengaged, going for minimum safe distance.
We're gonna make it, aren't we, sir? I don't want to die out here. Look!
Give him a reassuring pat on the shoulder. Chief knows you're not going to survive. Well, only one death and it was self-caused. Seems we're off to an excellent start so
What is
far.
that thing, Lieutenant?
Hell if I know. We're landing on it.
I knew it. The Autumn's accelerating. Keys is going in manual.
Madman's gonna ram that
Heads
thing.
up, everyone. This is it. We're entering the ring's atmosphere in 5.
Sure you wouldn't rather take a seat?
We'll be fine.
If I still had fingers, they'd be crossed.
And touchdown. Everyone dies. Except the Chief. He's immortal. Now, that first level was a bit too easy on Legendary. This is where things actually get rough. No matter what you carry with you, you don't start out with a plasma weapon on this one, so... You have to make your way into the hills with very little cover to offer.
Damn! Air brake failure. They flew too early.
Quit doing spoilers. This game came out in 2001. Anyone who's going to find some obscure VTuber channel playing this game will
Chief?
already know about
Chief,
it.
can you hear me? At last. Are you alright? Can you move?
The others,
The others.
they didn't make it.
The impact. There's nothing we can do.
Ah,
Warning.
misquoted
I've
already.
detected multiple Covenant dropships on approach.
One
I
thing I'll
recommend
always
moving into
remember
the
is the very
hills.
first time I was
We're
playing this
lucky.
game.
The Covenant will believe
I didn't
that
go
everyone
across the
aboard
bridge
this
here.
lifeboat died
I
from
went all the way in
crash.
that direction instead.
Alert! Covenant dropship inbound. They
Which,
must
funny
be
enough,
looking
that's
for
actually where my
survivors.
little skulls
I
is
recommend
located.
immediate evasion.
Not that that has any consequence on the anniversary edition. Just gonna sneak our way into these hills and hopefully avoid the banshees. That's really the biggest problem we have to deal with here. Another one being the fact that we have very little cover between these trees. We'll have to make a very good set of shots in order to take down one of those Sanhelis up here. The grunts are easy, but in order to get past those elite shields, we might need a plasma weapon. Oh, and the Banshees with a very inconsistent crash record. This is where things get rough. Already up against one of the red elites here. I remember one time I spent about 20 minutes on just this one fight alone. Now, as long as we can take out everyone else, which might already be done, shouldn't have too much of an issue with this guy then. We want to be able to attack them before their shields recharge, and simultaneously dodge enough bullets to let ours recharge in the meantime. Seems we didn't get rid of everyone. Note to self, when it comes to Halo, you're not nearly as good as aiming as you think you are. There's a very, very high amount of bullet magnetism. In fact, in this game, there's even a skill to turn it off, and it's astonishing how far that sets you back. Oh, shields are down already. Just needed one good shot in there, and first try. I said first try. You are ruining my demonstration, good sir. This was another pastime of 6-year-old Xander. You can paint the ground with the enemy's blood in this game. It also applies to the Anniversary Edition. The blood doesn't nearly spatter so indefinitely in the future games. We'll be making best friends with the plasma rifle through this run. Jump over there, damn it. Another interesting quirk with the Anniversary graphics is you'll see the cliff goes inward over here, but there's a lot of spots where the collision doesn't match up with the geometry. James, so glad to see you. Welcome. We'll slowly be getting drunker over the course of the evening. Glad to see you show up for, first-person shooters, too.
I'm reading a lifeboat beacon over the next
I'm
hill.
guessing it's everything
We should
but
check to
fighting
see if there are any
games.
survivors.
Alright, down the hatch, I'm gonna need it. Yes, one shot in there. And another. Okay, another two in there. Alright, Cortana, prepare to be disappointed. I'm not going to be able to save a single soldier. They're gonna run headfirst into danger like they always do. Take a little bit of cover up on this rock. Make sure we're not getting flanked, which we absolutely are. And this is where we die. Or not. Seems they were cowards. Oh, take a drink. Indeed, Kayla was asking about Halo quite a bit, so I decided to put it on the list. Especially if we're going to be gearing up for the release of Infinite later. The multiplayer comes out for free earlier, doesn't it? I'm gonna have to get in on that. And now we make our way in.
Save yourself!
I recommend you take your own advice. Start running into the hills over there. You're not gonna get shot, I promise. The enemies over there have already unloaded. We'll play defensively up here and wait on those health packs until we start wearing down a lot more. Right here should be a good vantage point. Uh-oh. And still missing everything. That's always been a quirk of the Halo games I don't particularly appreciate. Even small arms fire like a plasma pistol hitting your shield. Allegedly, you shouldn't feel the pain from that, would you? But it still always takes you out of your scope. Ah. Oh! I think we did actually hit the jackal with that one. think it's funny that they still say no like that, though. When they angrily growl like that, that usually means they're about to die. Awfully convenient, given that it usually holds them still for a little bit. Lets you line up a headshot. This was also probably the first game that had very good AI for the enemies. In a first-person shooter, at least. Notice he was growling there again, and it only took one more punch. Up, well, there we go. I also will need to excuse myself multiple times during this playthrough. 1, to get more alcohol, and 2, well, to get rid of it. How's your week been, James? Well, I hear grunts. It's usually best to try to get them out of the way as quickly as possible. Normally you're rewarded for killing the elites first. If you kill them, then all the grunts nearby will scatter. That's one of the differences in AI personality that they apply to this game. Though, given how much effort it takes to get rid of one of those elites, that's definitely not going to be happening first anytime soon. Or maybe it will right now.
Stay back!
Take another one.
I'm a cowardly fool!
Your week has been uneventful. You know, I appreciate a lot of weeks like that. Started late today on the stream, given that mine's been very busy so far. Fell asleep hard when I got home. And definitely underestimated how much time it was going to take to get through Microsoft's account setup for this game. Luckily, though, no one's yet used the name Xander Turing, so when we eventually get to multiplayer, I'm gonna be ready to go. With my own name. Ooh, nice one. One thing I've found interesting is that the grunts that look like this that have the more curved methane tanks, they never really brought back those designs, did they? That was exclusive to this game and went unexplained. As well, the anniversary graphics. They still look the same as the other grunts. Oh right, they do have different backpacks. Those have 2 prongs, and you can see them over there. There's still the other guys that have the pointed backpacks. Alright, this is where we'll need a health pack. If they start coming up the ramp here one by one, that's an advantage for us. Definitely want to avoid swapping weapons too often because that gives them enough time to find cover. If you can wear their health down low enough, at least compel them to growl for a bit, makes it a lot easier to take care of them. That is if you're using the plasma rifle. If you're using the plasma pistol, you'll notice I can change weapons mid-flight. And that sets it up for an incredibly easy one too. Hear that ever so pleasant elite screaming. That's always been one of my favorite quotes, just the I'm a cowardly fool from the Marines. So far so good. We're gonna need this. Looks like no one else is carrying one. This thing was actually dubbed the Elite Killer by a lot of people playing Halo 1 on Legendary. Its damage mechanics function differently from other weapons. Everyone knows about the infamous Needler Super Combine, but mechanically, that's equivalent to attaching a grenade to someone, which still does excellent damage regardless of how much shields your opponent has. Not to mention, the homing bullets mean you can poke in and out of cover pretty reliably. That is the safest spot for you to stand. You're going to survive.
Another here.
I wonder if they super combine independently of shields in this game. I know that the Needler has historically been the most difficult weapon to balance, and in the past they did change it to where it could only super combine when shields were down. Well, time to test. That was always the favorite weapon of little Xander. It's such a unique and unprecedented weapon design. Fine, give me plasma. This is one of my favorite classic Halo 1 themes. Always plays when you're fighting alongside a bunch of Marines. Though, for this run, it's going to be mostly the theme song of Marines dying. They're not too liable to survive. Guess the alcohol's working. I'm doing a lot better than I thought. Oh. You get out of here. I don't want to get more drunk. Up. Well, there we go. Foregone conclusion. The needles have already stuck. I guess if that's the case, might as well just start reaching for the bottle already. Guilty Gear for this weekend has been moved to the Sunday slot. Might be the same for next weekend as well. Of course, this coming week is Melty Blood Week, but I don't really know how much I'm going to push for that during the week before the actual release of Type Lumina. I might try to see if I can find someone who's willing to play Melty Blood during the week. Oh yeah, James, I don't know if you watched the VOD, but we met a very unfortunate death on Mount Noda run. As is the most common ender of runs, we got ourselves polymer.
I recommend that we stay near the beacon and wait for extraction.
That is a lot of red dots. Oh right. We have killed an elite first, which means all of the grunts here are going to be running around in circles in fear for a little bit. Oh, he didn't make it either. I wonder why they dropped there if they were just going to walk around to the other side of the structure. We were doing very well on that Noida game up until then, though. Though we did learn a very valuable lesson. Take a while before we start exploring the sky. There's enemies up there that cause you the polymorph. Which is really going to be the thing that ends you in runs that go that well up to that point. Indeed, yeah, it was polymorphing. So, we got damage upgrades for our Death Ray, which actually increased the recoil on it as well. As an experiment, we did start getting into the cloud layer beforehand one time, when we went all the way to the left side of the map and started scaling the wall. As an experiment, I wanted to use that reverse recoil to try to see if we could get back up into the sky with it. And we did! And we were also making very quick work of the enemies there. That run was so promising, absolutely. But I had my I'm drunk. I had my reassurance from Rohan that I was bound to have luckier runs coming later. We had infinite healing, too. But I have my high hopes that at least if we manage to find one leg up, and manage to have a weapon that we can use to, say, kill that boss that dropped the letter spells, we might have a better chance in the future. It was incredibly lucky that we got all that healing magic as well. Along with fire immunity and explosive immunity. But law of averages means we are going to get a much more promising run later. While we were heading through the clouds, well, a few of the enemies up there bleed polymorphine, which would have turned me into an enemy when it came back down. Now, that's not too much of a problem on its own, we were able to avoid that. Except when we were coming back down. Turns out, the ground is unloaded while you're up in the clouds. Makes sense, save on memory. The issue with that is that all the liquids that those enemies bled started falling down, and then it got stuck on the border of the unloaded area. So when I started dropping down from the clouds, there's a huge layer of polymorphine. Definitely made it a problem on the way back down, which we were in close proximity to that giant tree. We hadn't yet fought off the onslaught of slime enemies that usually shows up once you start damaging the tree. So we had to deal with those guys simultaneously, with a bit of polymorphine dropping everywhere. In my attempt to avoid the acid, I ended up stepping into the polymorphine itself and died. Note, they couldn't kill us while we were us. We had to be someone else. Don't get close and scare me like that. Good news is, what we set up won't be necessarily too difficult. We found many ones later on, which, so long as we can get ourselves a reliable source of healing later, we should be able to easily build ourselves another lightsaber soon. The issue with that is we will need to find some way to make it last longer. Maybe try to find bouncy spells again. We also managed to make ourselves a very powerful nuke weapon. Not using an actual nuke spell, which I'm gonna guess is in there given how many times it's shown in the loading system. But we did find a greater magic missile, and we managed to pack about 8 of those onto a single weapon. Paired with, apparently, the effect of that Omega rune, we could fire all of them at once. Managed to do about 3,000 damage, I think, with it. But we should still perform well in the future.
Anybody reading me? Repeat.
Normally I die too often on that part. Maybe the alcohol is helping.
Roger, Echo 419.
Take
This
another
is Fire
sip.
Team Charlie. We read you. Is that you, Fohammer? Roger, Fire Team Charlie. Good to hear from you. Fohammer, we need transportation to the command shuttle. I'm on my way.
Look, more lifeboats. They're coming in fast. If those lifeboats make it down, Covenant are going to be right on top of it.
Fohammer, we need you to disengage your warthog. The Master Chief and I are going to see if we can save some soldiers. Roger, Cortana. Okay, Charlie Team, Warthog deployed. Saddle up and give them hell.
This
Roger,
is
Fohammer.
my
Stand by to
favorite
evac
part.
survivors and transport them to safety. That's affirmative. Echo 419, staying on station.
Survivors?
Warhammer out.
Did anyone actually survive? Thought everyone over there died. Funny how hard we were carried by that magic missile and then soon enough we just completely dropped it. But we do know some very effective spell combinations for us to use in the future.
This cave is not a natural formation.
There it is.
Someone built it,
There's the knee.
so it must lead somewhere. I've hacked into the Covenant battle network. We're actually broadcasting tactical data on unencrypted channels. You should show them who they're dealing with. Master
Cocky
Chief,
bastards.
I'm going to use your suit's transcom system to monitor their chatter.
Now, I'm not one to brag very often, but you're not going to find a better driver of the CE Warthog than me. That was the brake button. There's space in this one. There were a lot of times back in high school in which I'd be playing Combat or Custom Edition versus some friends during lunch period. And, well, never once did I actually flip this thing.
Give me an angle.
You'll have to be patient about that, sir. I know you're very capable of dying, if I let you. If anyone's going to survive this war, it's going to be me. And probably
No
you.
running. Eat it. Stay on target. Found it. Over here. You like that? More over here.
Luckily, the vehicles in this game are invincible at least. Or the human ones are.
Want some more
The
of this?
Covenant vehicles are unstoppable. Another interesting tidbit is that the vehicles for any faction, including Covenant ones, are all invincible while they're unpiloted.
Over here.
And there's a little trick I want to show you with that once you get to level
Give me an
4,
angle.
which is going to suck.
How'd that feel?
That might be a bit more effective than gunning them down too directly.
Can't hide from me.
Start shooting, damn it, you have a minute.
More of them. Stay on target.
It's not a direction for you.
Say hello to my little friend. Want some more?
I guess a little friend is exactly why they'd call it a minigun, right?
There it is.
Fine, I'll do it myself.
Here comes more.
Ha! I heard him do his dodge roll. That's another thing, the enemies were actually very fond of interacting or reacting to their environment. Nice ass. You get to stay here. And there's always a guy that shows up here. Oh, two guys. Oh, right, we should probably get one of these first. I don't know if the cutscene here actually makes them unload. Also, don't know why they bring in the horror stings for the music here. This shouldn't be a particularly scary part. Ah, this was so cool when I was a kid. Hard light, and the first time I've heard about the idea. Of course, we replicated in so many other sci-fi scenarios later. I don't think Halo invented it either, but it was the first place I saw it. I'm already slurring my words. This is going to be horrible. And now, for a nice quiet drive. No enemies to be found on the other side here. You know, they tell you shouldn't drink and drive,
There's new
but...
traffic on the Covenant battle network. A lot more crew made it off the Autumn than I had predicted. The captain really gave them hell. If we can find Captain Keyes and the other survivors, we have a chance to coordinate an effective resistance.
I mean, have you seen the Marines' track record on Legendary? Very few of them are actually surviving.
Oh, yeah, baby!
I lied. This is my favorite part. We are on Legendary, right? Wow. I am that good. I very much like the demonstration of the more sandbox gameplay in this part of the level. You're able to do any of these three goals in any
Maybe
order.
they took cover in that structure. Let's check it out.
More, over here!
I wonder if Halo Infinite's gonna do an entire open world sandbox thing. That's what I've heard from a few people. Given that you have a mini-map in the games or the game trailers we've seen so far. It is a separation from the existing Halo formula, but one that I welcome quite warmly. After all, look at all that terrain. Imagine if you did have the freedom just to explore Halo. Heck, if we had something roughly equivalent to a Metroidvania first-person shooter, well, I'd be set for life. We definitely need more 3D Metroidvania type games. There's a lot that fit the bill, but they're usually platformers.
What the? Keep it steady for me. Whoa! More of them! Got it.
Wait for those shields. You know, I think our little gunner guy here is responsible enough that we probably can go ahead and let him keep shooting. We'll just have to be very careful not to let either of us die.
Here
More
comes
importantly, me.
Can't hide from me.
It's gonna be very slow for him to actually kill him.
More where that came from. Get me an angle. Want some more?
You know, the turrets on those vehicles tended to stay facing the same
So
direction,
tough now, are
even
you?
if you rotated the vehicle. I wonder if they have a gyroscope on them. I feel like that would be a very innovative military technology. Being able to rotate the vehicle and then the turret itself would know how to rotate differently.
Oh, the best you can
We
do.
are in trouble.
Who wants some?
And there we go. He's not surviving this war. Time for us to make a much more direct impact on the fight here. Now the crowning moment. Ah, the shields are changing color. So they did change it from the gearbox port. That was one of the biggest issues, is that they had texture transparency and changing issues with the gearbox port. The shields on Jackals would not change color as they got weaker. On top of a bunch of other things such as texture mix-maps and stuff like that that didn't port over correctly. Take that.
We should search the interior of those structures before we leave.
Sometimes you feel like wearing a mask to hide the person that you're in and change yourself to be a different person. Welcome, Blaze Warrior. Please do sit around and... I definitely welcome your presence. You feeling okay? It is a Friday night, which should be the best time for us to relax. Bit of a dark thing to introduce yourself with. You doing okay? Oh, take a drink.
Maybe they took cover in that structure. Let's check it out.
As for the experience itself, well, a VTuber can definitely relate.
Stay on target.
By the way, I did see something recently about how there is an adjustable bitrate stream change that we did. If you have trouble viewing the stream, I remember you mentioned you were out in the country somewhere, which would definitely slow your internet. If the stream is a bit too difficult for you to view, I can try to go ahead and turn down the bitrate.
Nice and smooth now.
Warms my heart to see you coming up to so many streams, but I rarely see you talk too often. Believe me, I am paying attention.
Found it over here.
I at least hope to be accommodating in that time.
Keep it steady for me. Take that.
Our gunner is already almost dead.
There's another one. Whoa! Over
And
here.
that grunt is very much over the deadline.
Nice and smooth now. Sorry.
I assure you, I am absolutely the best CE driver I've ever lived.
Get me an angle.
Oh, well, another one.
Maybe they took cover in that structure. Let's check it out.
This is where things definitely start getting more rough by the way.
Hey,
Just don't want to be
can't
bothered
hide from me.
in an extremely good about trying
More over
Given
here.
the size of this stream, I can't imagine anyone would
Be
interact.
careful.
With only having a few viewers ever so often. I definitely welcome the interaction more than anything else. Makes it a lot easier to keep up an interesting stream without more people to talk to. You doing okay right now? Take another one.
Maybe they took cover in that structure. Let's check it out.
Well, that's the end of that bottle. We'll have to start stacking up for the next time.
More of them.
I'll go ahead and try to take a break to go grab another one when
Need some backup.
you have a better stopping point.
Roadkill.
I am glad to see you return though, Blaze Warrior. If there's anything I can do to you, do for you, sorry. I'm drunk. I'm starting to get drunk. If there's anything I can do for you to accommodate you well, let me know.
Nice and
You're
smooth
okay.
now.
Glad to hear that.
Here comes more.
One of the reasons I started streaming myself was I've had a number of my own despondent and lonely nights.
Keep it steady for me.
And in the past few months, I've actually done a lot better with my mental health.
There it is.
Sometimes it's nice to have a reliable number of people to show up and talk to. Even if it's only 1, 2, or 3
More
people.
of them.
My regulars know who they are,
Get me an angle.
and it's incredibly heartwarming to see them show up again and again. It is the biggest confidence booster to see someone's name appear more than the first time.
Whoa. Over here. Keep it steady for me.
Be careful about that cliff. And it looks like we'll have to circle around.
What the?
But please, Blaze Warrior,
More
do
over
feel free to
here.
talk. I will say what you've probably been waiting on, and I definitely would prefer not incredibly upsetting emotional blocks if you have trouble. That's usually a stringer voodoo to have those kinds of emotional blocks. I'm not anyone's psychologist, for example, but how's your week been? If it's been good for you. I'm inviting you to talk about the good things about your day, or your week at least. Cheer yourself up a bit. I love a good conversation.
Whoa!
I remember you mentioning that you were trying to make new
Search the
things, and
interior
well,
of those structures
that's why I
before we
started
leave.
streaming as well.
What the? Over here. Here comes more! Oh! Ah!
I think he's about to die. Yep, he died. Maybe we shouldn't have parked him there. Confidence is definitely one of the most difficult things to work on. I would suggest trying to put yourself out there in some way or another. I've gone back and listened to my own voice acting on streams, and it's definitely not where I'm trying to get it. But it has done a lot for me. There's been quite a number of people that have shown up and complimented my voice so far, despite my own hang-ups with it. That is one of my goals this weekend, to try to sit down and refine it a bit. I can already hear it faltering, but I'll blame that on the alcohol. You mentioned voice acting, so I would recommend trying to find some avenue for that here or there. I don't know where exactly you'd find a trainer, but that would be my first and foremost recommendation, especially in the case of voice acting. You don't want to follow advice from YouTube tutorials. A lot of those have very bad advice that could definitely very much do permanent damage to your vocal cords. What is the proper way to learn how to voice act is to get a trainer who can...
How'd that feel?
Oh, I was thinking the main screen for that explosion.
Marine! Breathe back!
I was ready to be dishonored and discharged.
Ooh! Watch it!
What I'd recommend is trying to find someone, like not looking for voice tutorials on YouTube itself, but seeing if you can find someone who's
We should
willing
secure
to
the
teach
area
you.
before the dropship arrives.
Unfortunately, I had it a bit easy as I had theater friends, which know a bit more about that, and they were able to provide me lessons to get me started. I'll let you in on a little secret, and that is one of the biggest boosts you can find to making yourself a bit happier and a bit more confident is to find something difficult for you to do over and over again. Usually something you can spend on your own. Practicing skills is usually a very good way to boost your mood a little bit, be it drawing or singing or voice acting. Whatever it is, though, it has to be something difficult, because that's the only way you can recognize improvement. If something comes naturally too easy, and remains easy even if you get better at it, you're not going to have a very good reflection of how much you've improved. Whereas in the case of, well, drawing or singing or... heck, I'd even advocate fighting games knowing how much I love those. If it's something difficult, every little bit you learn is a lot more recognizable.
Echo 419 to Cortana, come in.
We read you, Echo 419. We have survivors and need immediate dust-off.
Roger, Cortana. On my way. I've spotted
I've been having a lot of
additional
competence
life forms
issues
in
over
your
the
area.
past few years,
One near
but
a rock slide, and another near the head of the river. Hard to see from my altitude, but it looks like there are more survivors. Acknowledged. We're
I
on
think
our
we can
way.
get a couple more Marines. No, I guess it's not coming in from that angle. We're not stuck now, are we? Where did I stop myself? I'll have to remember later. This is an excellent pausing point for us for now. I'm going to go ahead and grab another drink real quick. So, I will see you in a few minutes. Face tracking already resumed while I was away from my desk. Interesting. Well, that does give you a proper indicator of when I've started to make my return. Let's go ahead and recalibrate those settings, since they have been a little awkward tonight. Oh, yep, my sense of balance is fading. I'm definitely already feeling the effects of it. You'll try your hardest to get better at voice acting and getting better at drawing, because you did say you also wanted to become an artist as well. We have done a couple of art streams so far. I will be working on a Rivals of Aether character in time. I think you showed up on one of those streams too. And intermittently, not this weekend, and maybe not for the next few. But there have been a couple of art streams there as well, and you can definitely see me get better. As well as feel free to talk to anyone else in the chat here. So far, I think, certainly feels like 3/4 of my viewer base are all artists. And to a smaller extent, myself.
There it is.
I'm already feeling it get worse.
Eat it.
Nah, let's let's take care of that Banshee. We definitely don't want to deal with it. Oh, right, there's a resupply for us. And most importantly, my favorite toy. No, wait, the shotgun exists. That is not my favorite toy. I'm surprised how well we're doing so far. I was expecting this to be a lot worse. Don't think I ever finished that tangent. I might have been interrupted by cutscene dialogue, but what I've found remarkable is I play a lot of games better while drunk. Me having such an
There's some Marines
overactive
hiding in
brain
the hills
from
above the
being a
structure.
genius, not to toot my own horn. My horn's definitely tooting though.
You're a sight for sore eyes, Chief.
Seriously? I was backing up and somehow squashed him. But I am very prone to panicking, and I've noticed in the times that I've been drunk, it definitely helps me relax a lot, which helps my focus as well.
Good one.
So maybe the alcohol will be helping over
Let me
time.
get that for you.
Make one small mistake and you are terrible immediately just because you didn't plan it. And then think of two things wrong and hate yourself for it. That is the first and most important issue to get over with
Like that?
any art at all. I, too, am an absolute
Oh,
perfectionist.
this is it.
But one thing is, streaming has definitely helped me focus on that a lot better. And that is, it holds me accountable, at least. I've had a lot of streams that have started late because I was underprepared or I didn't have enough ready. In fact, tonight, I hadn't even booted up the game yet. I had a particularly busy week, so I went ahead and fell asleep right when I got home. It still took me more than an hour to prepare beforehand. Had to sign in, create a Microsoft account, still had to figure out what I was going to do for a YouTube channel. But once all that was done, well, started 10 minutes late, which is the worst record so far. It did compel me to follow through with it. I'm not sure how much you're willing to try streaming yourself, especially since it requires a certain number of difficult peripherals. But if you have any way you can hold yourself accountable, or get other people to hold you accountable, it's one of the best ways to actually get yourself to start practicing on something. Because believe me, I feel and understand a lot of the things you've been saying so far. Between the perfectionism and confidence issues, well, one of my biggest motivators is the fear of letting people down. Well, people are expecting something, and I mean, my pride is too much to let me skip out on something unless I have a very good someone else to blame. I'd say, in regards to the voice acting and drawing, get yourself started and find some way to hold yourself accountable with it. That way you keep to it.
Take that. Let me go.
Anything worth doing is worth making mistakes in. That's how you learn.
Over here. I'm on it.
That's why I fixated on talking about doing things that are difficult specifically. The more difficult they are, the more obvious your improvement will be to yourself.
Make sure there are no covenant hiding in there.
And once you have any sort of skill that you achieve a level of competency in, it's a lot easier to understand.
419 to Cortana. Bowhammer's on station and ready for another pickup. Affirmative, Bowhammer. We're ready for dust-off. Approach when ready. We're going to look for the last lifeboat, Echo 419. Good luck.
Dialogue sure sounds like someone survived. There's certainly not hold up in the hills here. But one thing I will say is once you have a skill you're able to show to other people, and once you've achieved competency in one thing, there's a little bump, or that first hill that you have to get over. Once you get over that, you have a little bit of confidence and
Warning.
pride
I picked
in
up reports that
yourself.
the Covenant has located and secured the
Well,
Pillar of Autumn's crash site.
After that point,
The good news
it
is
becomes
the
so much
Captain's
easier to
still alive.
continue.
The bad news is that the Covenant have captured the entire surviving command post. Let's hurry and find the final lifeboat so we can link up with the rest of the survivors.
And here's the most difficult, but my favorite part
Survivors
of
detected.
this mission.
Marines are concealed in those rocks.
You can drive that thing anywhere if you want it. Uh-oh.
I'm going after him. More, over there!
Now up here would be a lot better for us. Very good vantage point.
Showtime!
In the side with the sniper rifle.
There it is!
Not sure how much I trust it, but go right ahead. We're going to try to awkwardly position this vehicle facing forward, because given the invincibility of human vehicles, that provides a better shield to make sure that our Marine buddies don't find themselves suffering.
Cover fire!
Where was I? It is the biggest confidence booster once you have something that you feel competent in. And trust me, that moment comes. Usually it comes when you actually have people complimenting you on it. As I said, I don't feel very warm about my own voice acting, but so far I can immediately count 3 different people that have complimented it.
More of them!
I've been practicing it for a while, but I haven't really worked too hard at it. Mostly I've done it casually, talking to myself when I'm alone playing single-player games or so. But a little bit of effort shows itself, and it's been very heartwarming to hear so many compliments about something I don't feel confident in. A lot of people are going to feel a lot less confident about themselves than they really are. And mostly the case with that is people are going to compliment you a lot more when they have a bit of admiration for how much you're willing to put yourself out there. People have far more insecurities than they let on, and, well, seeing someone else prove with a little bit of confidence, even if they're not perfect, even if they're critiquing you, I promise you, they're envious of your drive and willing to do something like that. Put yourself in that position. Even your hecklers secretly wish they had your level of confidence. So don't hang yourself up on perfectionism like what I often do. That would be my personal recommendation. Have some friends hold you accountable. In fact, if you like, when we have our next art stream, I am willing to mention something about, well, seeing if we can get everyone in the chat to go ahead and do a little something. Funny enough, one of my earlier streams got a little bit of fan art, which did wonders for my self-confidence as well. Meant so much to me. So soon and with such a small audience. Now, I'm not in any position to give the most formal of critiques, but that would be my personal recommendation. If you have any artist friends, go ahead and draw a little something. Next time we have an art stream, go ahead and try to sit down and draw something yourself in the couple of hours that we have done. Even if it's just a simple sketch. You could just, say, draw the face of one of your favorite shonen heroes. If you can find yourself any artist friends, or any of the well-versed artists in the fan base here for Xander Turing. The whole club of about 5 people. Try to ask for some consultation or some advice from them. Or any other artist friends you have. I haven't looked myself, but I definitely know there's communities full of artists who are willing to try to give you a little bit of advice. And they might tear into your work, but trust me, those are the best teachers to have. When it comes to art, at least. Art is all about hiding perfections. Hiding imperfections. Or doing your best to overcome those. I know I have a number of artist friends. Broham's not here, but if he shows up on the stream, I'll definitely talk to him. He consulted me and definitely said he's looking to try to be the best artist he can. Well, you gotta tear him and tell everything he's doing wrong in that case.
Oh, that was free! Go. There it is!
I don't have the best advice to give, but if there's anything glaringly obvious, I could say with my limited scope of experience. Alright, well, there we go, take the next stream. The drum beat shall inspire us.
I'm ready.
Scoot a little bit closer to that mic. Really, it's incredibly uncomfortable to take that first step, but you have to find someone who knows better than you, and let them just tear into your work. The best ones are going to be firm and not too mean about it. But an irresponsible professor will be the one who does not tell you everything you're doing wrong. I want to try to help you make it better learning something, but you have to take it slow. You understand, because when you were born didn't understand things very well, so people had to take it slow. Everyone has their variety of things they learn well and are important. I'm under the belief that, well, everyone has a hidden talent for something. Although I'd say that mostly comes with being passionate about something whatsoever. It might be a slow process, but the biggest thing is making sure you keep up with it. Consistency is how you learn things. I know you've heard the phrase practice makes perfect, but you also need to be consistent with it. And the importance of practice cannot be stressed enough. Now, going on with the rest of the little lecture here, credit to Xander. Practice on its own doesn't necessarily make perfect. You need to make sure you're going and practicing in the right direction. Which is why I recommended having a good teacher in the first place. Once you know how to practice, then you can practice on your own. But when it comes to things like drawing or voice acting or playing an instrument, you usually want a teacher to give you a good foundation to start with. That way you don't learn too many bad habits while you're trying to practice. Because one of the worst things you can do is practice poorly. Which is a lot easier to work around than it sounds. Bad habits are learned, but you have someone to help you with learning a little bit. Getting you started. Makes it a lot easier. Makes it a lot easier to get the practice in the right direction. Then, whenever you have a good direction for your practicing, be it a specific song to sing or play, a specific fighting game combo, or something specific you're trying to draw. Once you at least know how to critique your own work, that's the first step to getting some level of confidence. And that's what you need. Oh, take another drink.
Wake up, man. I'm ready.
You need that first bit of competence. Prefer the phrase practice makes better. As I said, knowing how to practice effectively is a big part of the battle. Thank you, James. Absolutely true. Try to find someone that is willing to get you started on a couple of good teaching foundations. And not necessarily through a YouTube tutorial. You'll need someone who can specifically look at what you are doing wrong to start with, and who can at least help you tweak your worst habits to start with. Once you have the right direction, that's where everything falls into place afterwards. After a certain point, and trust me, it's incredible when you feel the catharsis of this happening for the first time. There comes a time after you've practiced a skill long enough where you have an understanding of how to get better at it. And once you can start teaching yourself, well, you start to love your ability to do it. Like me taking this drink. I saved this part for last because it was going to be the most difficult. Can't be falling over drunk too soon. I remember, I'd argue the first time that I really felt that. It might have been years ago when I was programming. For the first time. But one of the biggest similar feelings I had was when I was playing Guilty Gear Xrd. And it took me about 100 hours of gameplay in. But one reason I talk about fighting games so much is they are difficult to practice. And so a lot of your knowledge on how to learn in, say, a fighting game can be applied to more constructive skills, such as art or music. It took me about 100 hours of gameplay in, but there was a point in which I understood the character I was playing. And I knew what my buttons were, I knew what my game plan was, I knew what my specials did, all their inputs, and I knew how to execute them. Reliably. Not perfect, but consistently enough. That is the most wonderful feeling in the world. When you finally feel like you understand something. You don't have to be perfect at it. Just having a bit of knowledge on how to do it well. Starting to feel a little stucky at the end. And dead again. It was that grenade. That's where I'll blame it.
I'm ready.
Xander's already feeling nasally again, isn't he?
What the?
Might have to take a break and a breather once we're done with this setup. I do give the nerd vibes as much as I can, but I try to tone down the nasal part of the voice. might need to blow my nose.
Firing! Nice shot! Wake up! Whoa!
The most difficult part about this part of the level is, like how it was at the beginning, there's so much open ground and so little cover for you to take. Missed. Again. And again and again. Take a deep breath.
Watch out! What's going on?
And more importantly, take another sip. Alright, adjustment and tactics. We'll have to get a few good sniper shots in here, but we might need to move next to some of the other rocks here in a moment. Ah, we didn't need that grenade.
Oh, this is it!
When you were younger, you created an alternate version of yourself and made it gems. A better version of yourself because you're just nobody. Trust me, no matter how hard you think, no one's ever nobody. Everyone has loved ones. Getting up at 5 a.m. for next 3 mornings in a row. Drunk Kayla was fun. VOD will always be up, Kayla. I'm glad for you to have shown up with us. And another drink to be had. Alright.
Oh, get ready.
Ah, try that one again. Alright, now that we have our game plan, we'll definitely need to start moving once the enemies start dropping. We know that there's already some guys spawned in behind us, so we'll have to move and pay attention to them. Brandon, so glad to see you. Welcome. I'm gonna need a bit more wind to tolerate this, although we're doing a lot better to start with than originally anticipated. The game plan here is Legendary Solo, which so far isn't that well. This has definitely been the hardest part of the campaign so far. Must have spent 20 minutes here. I might have a collaboration lined up for Halo 2. That is, the game plan is to play them in order. Halos 1, 2, and 3 leading up then, and maybe 4, but that's a significantly less popular game, and, well, definitely a difference in quality. We might not have the time to get to playing that before Infinite drops. That is how you clear out some Covenant. I wonder if these guys actually have functional view cones instead of testing for direct line of sight. Would definitely go along with the improvements in AI they made before. We have a few more bullets to expend here. Might as well get to it. But as I was saying, Blaze Warrior, you're definitely not a nobody, I assure you. I mean, we at least already have the proof that, for one, I remember you showing up again and again. I mean, I'm paying attention. You don't need to pretend to be someone else, and once you have a bit more confidence in yourself, the authenticity is definitely more welcoming than any sort of imposter syndrome you'll get by pretending to be not yourself. Time for you to go once again. Try not to get annoyed at. Well, I'm dying over and over again, but at least we don't have to restart this over and over. Thank you very much for showing up, James. I'll be glad to see you next week, which we're not dropping Noida anytime soon. Is that everyone? The drum is still beating, so I'm sure there's someone still straggling around here.
We should make sure the area is clear of Covenant stragglers.
Straggler, that's the word. Not scraggler. Is that even a word that exists? I'll have to take a look and see when the Halo Infinite multiplayer launches. Definitely need to get on that hype train. On the subject with how we've been talking tonight's lecture has mostly been about skill development. Similarly enough, I need to actually open up that video editing program and put together a little compilation of Xander getting himself killed. Schadenfreude is a definitely successful way to get some viewership. What the fuck? Why didn't you shoot?
That's the last of them. Roger that. I'm on
So I
my
need
way.
to start focusing on video production
Traffic on
myself.
Covenant Battlenet.
Well,
I found Captain Keyes.
you'll see the fruits of my
Being held
labor
on a
soon
Covenant
enough.
cruiser. The Truth and Reconciliation.
Hopefully I have the
Should
time to get
say
that done
before
this
we abandon
weekend.
the autumn. The Truth and Reconciliation touched down on a desert plateau roughly 300 kilometers.
Alright, there's that level done with. We might only have time to get
There's our
partway
ride.
through
Get
Truth and
aboard and let's get out
Reconciliation
of here.
after this.
Welcome aboard, Master.
Because this next level is...
We should move out,
Boy,
Lieutenant.
2
And then we'll
hours.
need your help on a rescue mission.
This next level is infamously difficult. In fact, if I wanted to keep it to 2 hours, I should stop it here, but... It's Friday night. I think 3 hours is an excellent stream duration to go through with.
The enemy has captured Captain Keyes.
Won't be on
and are
long
holding
yourself.
him aboard
Been
one of
moving
their
to a new
cruisers,
house and you've
the
got
Truth
work
and
tomorrow.
Reconciliation.
That
The
is
ship
indeed
currently
a really
holding
big
position
oof, Brandon.
approximately 300 meters above the other end of this plateau.
So how do we get inside
I've
the
spent
ship
this
if
week
it's
trying to
in the
write a
air?
resume.
The Corps issued me a rifle, not wings.
There's a gravity lift that ferries troops and supplies between the ship and the surface. That's our ticket in.
Once we get inside the ship, I should be able to lock on to the tracking signal.
You know, I think we'll try to get until the point in which we start getting on the ship
Hit 'em,
itself.
Marines! Go, go, go!
That's
Corps ain't
probably
paying
good
us by
stopping
the hour.
point.
Stick to the higher ground to the right. We should be able to recon the Covenant position without being spotted. I've detected Covenant stationary guns near the next pass. I recommend using your sniper rifle to take out the gunners while I call for Marine support.
Get ready to move in to support us, Sergeant.
Alright.
The
Despite
Master
what
Chief
she
is going to
said, our
overtly
biggest
take out
issue
as
is
many
going to
of
be
the
those
Covenant as he
elites.
can.
We
Don't
definitely
open
want
fire
them to be
until you hear
standing
the enemy
our
return
while
fire on
everyone's
us.
already opened fire.
That should let us keep the element of surprise.
No element of surprise here. We're gonna have to go and swing.
Let 'em have it!
Yeah, I've had to spend this week writing my resume, amidst all the other streaming stuff. What I definitely didn't anticipate for was how much time streaming would take up. Granted, I could cut the schedule down, but it's been the most fun thing for me to focus on lately.
Taking heavy fire! I'll take you all on!
Assault rifle will actually be very functional for us while we mostly have to deal with grunts. And we have the sniper rifle to take care of any elites that show up, so... This is one of the few times you'll actually see that MA5B being used. Alright, back up. Take cover. I hate to waste good ammo on this, but we have to. Of course it hits the turret. Janky hitboxes, ahoy! Of the jankiest persuasion. Take a moment. Sneak back around. Take a few shots. Luckily in this game, those shaved turrets are egregiously inaccurate. There we go. While he's looking away. Ah! I thought that would have been a headshot. Those things are remarkably well protected from the front, I've noticed. Alright. Get... There you go. And luckily we have so much reserve ammo to deal with. That's one thing that's interesting about the Halo 1 campaign. In single player, you're allowed to carry way more ammo than you can in multiplayer. I suppose it cuts down on camping, essentially. I also know for big military operations like this, they definitely have to make sure they had all of their soldiers very well equipped. Been 5 minutes and we haven't even gotten past the first fight. So this is roughly a good scale on how difficult the rest of this level is going to be. Truth and Reconciliation is notorious. Guilty Gear stream on Sunday, by the way, if you haven't yet seen the schedule. I have that up, but I don't know how many people are able to view it. I suppose if your subscription count is low, it might show up there. It's also going to be, so far, at our earliest bracket. I'm going to try to get my face out there a little bit, so having something to do on a Sunday afternoon, well, that might be an open point for a lot of other people's schedules. There we go. 1 plasma grenade to my name. Plus 2. Oh, and a frag. Thank you for showing up, by the way, Brandon. I was definitely hoping to see you. Halo is an absolute classic in my opinion, and I was hoping that it would at least reach all of my audience who would be interested in viewing it. And this is the single best way to take care of those shade turrets. Alley-oop. I don't think we've died yet, so we're off to an excellent start. Taking us forever, but we should be able to get through this without too much hassle. Don't do too much damage. I suppose now we actually have the opportunity to switch to a plasma weapon instead. That's going to be a lot more effective against their shields. This will work. And with 60 bullets left, well, we're not going to run out of headshot juice anytime soon.
Motion tracker shows movement around the next bend.
Did they ever bring this back? I don't remember night vision in the other games. Now, despite what Cortana says, we're mostly concerned with the elites first, and one, not walking off the cliff. Looks like we will have to go with direct firepower. The grunts themselves are also going to die very quickly to the plasma rifle. And so far, not a single elite to worry about yet. Alright, there. Nope, overshot it. I'll just get close enough that I can afford this. Oh, I've been looking for you. I knew you'd be around here somewhere. Well, there it is. Take a drink. Wonder where he was waiting in that time. down below. Get a few shots in there. Punch. And another punch. Now we can't afford too many mistakes past this. Alright, back behind here. And with no help to spare, but I think there's a package right there in front of us. There we go. No worries. Now how to tackle this issue? Well, I suppose more inebriation will be necessary. Well, this is only going to get worse, or it's going to get better. Quite frankly, I haven't been able to tell which direction it's been going so far. Luckily, our enemies cannot flip those turrets, so to get those flipped over with a grenade in the first place, it'll make it easier to take care of them next time. Another drink. This is going to take forever, isn't it?
I smell one.
Deep breaths. We'll need the patience to get through it. There we go. Huh. Not too many elites that you find using a needler. Yeah, sure, hold still. I appreciate it. Ah! Grenade still damaged him a little bit. I suppose that's a useful trade-off, given that we had to get rid of him. Frags won't help. We do have a route up here off this jump. Watch this. Ah. And there you aren't. Swap that out so we can keep our ammo up. Head around here and punch. I said punch. And we're already losing health again. I was hoping we'd have killed him by now. Maybe his shields haven't recharged yet. Well, now they certainly have. And we still barely get that plasma rifle. I am not getting killed by a drunk. I am not getting killed by a grunt while drunk. Oh boy. Been a nice couple of hours so far, hasn't it?
Covenant forces detected up ahead. The path up on the left should let us sneak up around them.
Wonder if they actually have sneaking mechanics in this game. Given that it dulls your signature on the motion tracker, maybe so. Ah, there's so much for stealth. Off of these rocks, we might have a vantage point. Go ahead and hop up for a few shots. And no good vantage point there. Not one lasting for very long. Alright. Take it slow and patiently while we have so little ammo to work with. Zoop. There we go. Had to make sure he saw us first. Just love the look in their eyes when they know they're about to die. Ah. Out of shields again. And almost out of plasma battery. Watch that. Ah. Alright. We have to figure out exactly how we're getting up and around there. So many turrets around. And once you get onto low enough battery with the plasma rifle, it actually only fires every other shot or so. Interesting little bit they added in. Low battery and it doesn't even actually fire entirely.
Cortana to Echo 419, requesting reinforcements at our position.
That was the first thing we had to take care of. Because now, we have a new plasma rifle to deal with. I remember, somewhere around here there should be an active camo for us to pick up. I think we find it easier if we head alongside the left edge here. Oh, take a drink. We got ourselves a word. Oh, he hadn't even fired his plasma rifle yet.
Does anyone see him? Back me up!
I'll very gladly take that 100 battery from you. Huh. Even in anniversary graphics, that rock has a hole through it. I'm invincible. Oh. And invisible. Hold it together. Hold it together. We have to do that entire bit again now. Due to the faulty collision physics in this game. Well, easy enough. You will never see me lose my cool on stream. Xander is 100% authentically certified chill streamer. And we're already back down to such low health again. Good thing we dodged those shots. I see your ugly mug again. It's getting a 50 cal. What the heck? Did they change the sounds in the anniversary? They did! That's right! I wanted to hear the, anniversary sounds, definitely. One of the most important things about that is the absolute wonderful sound of the sniper rifle firing. We might do that on our next stream. Go Wobbadug yourself. I'm gonna need your plasma rifle. Well, it turns out one of them was in that turret. Take a drink. We didn't take one for the last time either, did we? Is it just me, or does alcohol taste worse the more of it you have? I hear it's supposed to be the other way around, but it never felt like that to me. Well, that's a lucky start. Get that full battery before we have to do anything else. Yeah, sure. Ignore the, burning blue ball next to you. I think our best strategy might be to pepper them with a couple of plasma shots first, which will open them much easier to a headshot later. Show that ugly mug. Alright, Jawbones, time for round 2.
Cortana to Echo 419, requesting reinforcements at our
Easy.
position.
Too easy.
Roger, Cortana. Echo 419 on approach.
Not falling for that one again. Yes, please keep being distracted. While I do... this. And this. This. I love the sound of Covenant screaming. Stupid aliens.
Alert! Covenant dropships are inbound.
Uh-oh. Huh. I thought this music wasn't supposed to play yet. Not until the hunters show up. We're not invisible anymore, but... we might as well be. Nice ass, homie. thought we might have ended up continuing to slide off the cliff there, but we're doing a bit better. Take cover again. We're going to need every bit of shield we can get. Grab this little number. Yeah, I think we're gonna stop once we get onto the ship. This level is exceptionally cruel. Alright, looks like we'll have to play extremely cautiously. Yeah, that one counts. Well, there's the third one down. Funny enough, I put wine in the thumbnail, but I haven't broken out the wine yet. So close. Wish I had the time to line up that shot. And missing again. We're 0 to 3. Maybe I'm starting to get a little too drunk. Toss that in there. Get a couple of shots over here. Alright, time to break and grab another one real quick. I will make my return very, very soon. Part-time 20 minutes. It definitely feels like it's been way more than that so far. Alright. Sneak up our side here. And same as always. If we get rid of this turret now, we won't have to deal with it in a moment. And it flipped right side up. Mission mailed. We just need to see his face one last time. Given how frequently we're missing so far, it's definitely going to be important to keep up our clip size as much as possible. And it looks like everyone's scanning over there, so we'll have to be a lot more cautious. They're everywhere. There's only one of me. Of course, if the grunts are lacking in object permanence, they might not understand I'm the same chief that showed up over there. Come on. There we go. And all was right with the world once again. Oh, maybe that was something I should have anticipated.
Cortana to Echo 419. Requesting reinforcements at our position. Roger, Cortana. Echo 419 on approach.
It doesn't look like we can shoot him too easily from there. Darn. Get a little jump up here, and toss in one more. Alright, we'll have to speedrun this while we have a limited amount of stuff.
Covenant dropships are inbound.
This should be the one that works. Good morning.
Hey, good one!
And good night. I said good night. Go to bed. There we go.
I've had enough of this crap!
Missed on that grenade then. Got rid of the wrong person. Uh-oh. "30 minutes and we're not even on the ship yet." It's almost comical at this point. I did say Truth and Reconciliation was going to be cruel. And very unusual. Hey, maybe I can use that now. I just gave up with that one. Take another drink. Oh, yes. If we sneak up there, everyone's going to start shooting at us immediately. remarkably durable for someone who's supposed to be weak to plasma. Which seems to be more my case instead. You saw how long he was taking to die. Take another drink. Alright. Wonder how we can change tactics this time.
Humans! I see him! See him!
Ah, we can get from up over here. Well, why don't we abuse that then? That should make our peak game function a lot better.
Suffer! Right behind you!
Well, we've gotten a bit of our opposition out of the way over here. So we can safely start heading up this side and take them out a bit more methodically. After all, trying it in a different direction should yield us a slightly better success. As well, hopefully we have those plasma games this time. Oh look, the UNSC is bringing more bullet sponges. Line up our shot and... right. Ah, there we go. Sneak attack. Melee is so awkward and clumsy in this game. Is it that slow for every weapon?
Nice shot!
I think the sniper rifle also has a slow melee, but I don't know if they're statistically different. Beautiful. Say cheese.
More over here! On the way!
Alright, this guy's not very photogenic now, is he?
You mind not killing my men?
Johnson, you'll see that the grenade bounced off of one of them.
What the?
That wasn't my fault, I swear. Alright, we have a second wave to deal with. We recognize that this time. So instead of directly beelining our way to the stealth, we're gonna try to do a bit of a stealthier approach. Without using the invisibility.
Cover fire!
Granted, this is very stealthy now, isn't it? Uh-oh. It will be my pleasure. There's a lot of Spanish-speaking Marines, but there's also the infamous Chip Stubbo himself. The Australian-sounding one. He's in every game. You're kidding me. We'll pick this up for a moment. Keep a happy face. Keep a happy face. Wow. I think the biggest is we definitely don't have enough health to go off of. Not for this part. You can hear their cloven footsteps over there. Biggest problem solved to start off with. That's what we'll try to focus on every time. Keep an eye on that motion tracker. Ah, we can take care of him right here. I would hope. And we've already lost so much health. We'll have to be very cautious in the future.
Cortana to Echo 419, requesting reinforcements at our position.
Thank you, I could really use the bullet sponges right now. Don't lose sight. Ah, we did get him. Oh boy. I think I'm about to fall out of my chair. What the? At least that didn't land on us. If we get those turrets out of the way, we won't have to deal with them being inhabited in the future.
Alert! Covenant dropships are inbound.
That solution's always feasible at the least. Ah.
Hey, nice shot.
Drunk enough that I can miss a target not moving.
Let's go, come on!
Alright, now we're in a slightly better position to deal with this. And with most of our boys alive.
Come on, keep it up! Whoa!
I think we have to rely too much on the sniper, so we'll be getting different weapons once we get into the spaceship. It was a bad idea to move down there, but we'll find our way up and around. I think. That seems like it's the end there. Checkpoint done. What a relief.
Over there!
Not you. Ah, take a drink, but no harm done. We are paying attention, and we are ready this time.
Hugging them all!
I wanted to see if it would work. It did for a little bit.
You can't hide from me!
And we're boxed in.
Now what?
Speed drinking.
Can't hide from me! Oh yeah!
While we have a lovely piece of impromptu cover here to start with, at a bare minimum. Now we have to deal with that turret in the way. Gotta think about how to get rid of that one. Get out of the way, dude. Idiots.
Firing!
But they are Marines. That should be expected. Picking us off like flies. At least the turret's out the way.
Good one!
We're directly under the ship now. The Covenant use a gravity lift to move troops and supplies between the ship and the surface. We need to ambush them at the grav lift's loading zone and use the lift to enter the ship.
Nice shot!
And now, since we've shot him, the enemies should run with him. Jack was a bit less so, but the grunts should not be fighting us for a little bit of time. So after you take down the solo lead, that's the point where you need to go on the offensive.
Roger, Cortana. Echo 419 on approach.
We'll just have to circle around to the right for this guy. Catch. Let's try that again. There we go. Get a couple of shots on this guy. And those of you familiar with this game will know exactly what's coming up next.
Keep it up!
Alert! Covenant dropships are inbound.
Oh right, they still bring up a couple of dropships first. Go ahead and take a peek. We'll have to keep doing this over time.
Get on it! Nice shot! Right on!
Ah, 2 for 1. Would you look at that?
That's what I'm talking about!
Get that down there and try our hardest not to die.
See that?
I think we just got
That's
another
the
2
way
for
to
1
do
there.
it! Oh, yeah!
Obviously, Big Brain Xander is doing everything he can to optimize his ammunition efficiency. 2 birds, 1 bullet.
There's more where that came from. Keep it up, bro. Covering fire! Catch this!
Reload. Get out a couple more shots.
Don't like that, do ya? Cut it out!
Where's the big guy?
Want some of this, baby?
And we are about to die once again. So as we run for cover, should be prepared to reach for my drink. That guy didn't let his shields reach in.
Keep it up! I need a
God.
medic!
Only 16 shots. Make every single one of them count. I thought you were dead. How nice of him to keep his back turned to us while we were
Somebody's on
reloading.
fire. This one ain't getting off.
What a very polite fellow. And, well, we're back to being alone again. This is a bad idea. Note to self, stay out of the turrets. Because now we have to do this entire sequence all over again.
Found Pound 'em! Whoa! Whoa! Come on! Oh, that burns! You are dead, dead, dead! You want to know? Who else? Get it off!
Well, so far so good. Although we're running out of plasma rifle awfully quickly. Take an aim here for your shoulder and...
More here!
Cortana to Echo 419. Requesting
All right,
reinforcements
here we
at
go.
our position. Roger, Cortana. Echo 419 on approach.
Oh, great. Duck and cover. Duck and cover. And reach for another drink. This is only the first part of the level, and it's taking an hour. The part time is 20 minutes. Ah. Not much longer, Xander. It was your mistake that got you this far. I think that ultimately is where one of the biggest failings of CE was. It was trying to blend in a lot of different first-person shooting tropes at the time. Hence why we have both a life bar and a shield, which, while I do believe that is very conducive to making yourself averse to taking irresponsible risks, definitely leaves you in a lot of situations like this where you're behind for a while, without the ability to fully recover in between battles, while still having a minor way to avoid injury. Definitely makes it risky for it to constantly save
Alert.
over your little rounds where you make some mistakes but succeed.
Want some more?
Now we have to do all of our next sequences off of having only 2 life bars, which is going to get very, very rough.
Don't worry, there'll be more.
Who just shot me? You, I guess.
Can't hide from me.
We get rid of one problem and the next one immediately drops.
Frag out! Triggers down, man! Triggers down! Show me what you got!
Uh-oh. At this point, it's funny more than anything else. And that was hilarious.
Full automatic! Pound 'em! Oh! Firing! More! That all you
Get that lobbed up there, and we shouldn't have to deal with that guy for a while. Nice little shot into his bag. I liked the representation of the plasma rifle in this game a lot better than the subsequent entries.
Cortana to
Definitely
Echo
feels more
419.
like a
Requesting
plasma weapon in
reinforcements
this
at our
game
position.
than, say,
Roger, Cortana.
something
Echo
shooting little
419
electric
on
pulses, I'd
approach.
guess.
Alert.
Get you off the
Covenant
cliff so I don't
dropships
have to
are
deal with you.
inbound.
I wonder if up here is going to give us a little bit of a better vantage point. Just wait for it. Just accept it. Laugh it off.
Are we moving out or making love? Let's go! There it is! Keep it up, boys! Get the lead out, Marine!
Overall, I think I like the sound design for the Covenant-related things, probably most in this game compared to the future ones.
We're taking heavy fire!
The plasma pistol sounded roughly the same throughout all the entries, but the plasma rifle has gone under a lot of revamps. And in a lot of games afterwards, it was significantly less useful.
Cortana to Echo 419. Requesting reinforcements at our position. Roger, Cortana. Echo 419 on
Run a
approach.
grenade, take care of those guys. And they arrived like lambs to the slaughter. I could go for some money right now. That's what sheep meat is called, right? I never even had one. Ah.
They won't mess with us again. That'll do them. You got that right. Whoa! Over here!
Just we need to get him down and the grunts will stop attacking us.
Lady, I'm on fire! Don't
Except now there's not even any grunts to worry about. There we go.
Frag out! Frag them! Yeah!
Alright, I think this one's going to work.
Eat this! Covering fire!
Oh, finally. I didn't even know that was there the whole time. Definitely should have paid attention to that.
Whoa! Oh!
There, now can we get a checkpoint, please? That's been like 5 squads that have dropped.
You're all gonna die! Firing!
Keep the concentration.
Lead! Frag out!
Seriously, where's the end to these guys? Well, there's the end to my guys. And I have no idea where I put that sniper rifle down. Well, I think we're screwed. There we go. Just the little release I needed. And we're still getting just Covenants. Just the regular guys. Someone get me a squad counter in that. That's like 6. Up. We're left here without many resources to replenish ourselves.
Watch your fire! Oh God!
Right, we know we have to gear up for about 6 squads dropping out of that central platform, so... It really doesn't feel like that much on the other difficulties. I wonder if we have an answer on just how much that actually is.
Cortana to Echo 419.
We'll get the health pack early just to make sure we have the most survivability
Roger,
later
Cortana
into the
to
run.
Echo 419 on approach. Alert! Covenant dropships are inbound.
Get up around here, and that should do us a little bit better for now. Now we just want to make sure we hold on to these guys as long as possible. Mostly that will be trying to take out the elite first. Send the grunts into a frenzy, and we can deal with the rest of the squads afterwards. Just shoot him already!
Oh yeah! Bring it on, man! How about some of this?
I think the plasma rifle might, or the plasma pistol, with its charged shot might be a bit better for us.
I'll take you out! Get your ride going first! You have him!
And we'll also need to pay a lot of attention to whatever cover we're offered.
Nice one! I'll make you pay for that!
I always thought it was funny that the grunts speak English in this game very clearly, but the other aliens don't. I know there's an issue about translation, for example, but it's funny that only some of them are translated. Those would be the comic relief characters more than anything else. Get up, damn it. Here comes the next one. Take a couple more shots, we can finally get rid of these guys. So long as there's only one of them left, we can play Ring Around the Rosie with them. And missed. And no battery. Well, we're dead. Right here. Huh. Surprisingly better turnout than I expected. so much for that.
You should have been there yesterday. Let's move. Found him. Get it going, Marine.
Never surrender. I did say this was going to be the worst one. But if you can get this out of the way, well, we don't have too much to worry about afterwards.
Over there.
We might just have better cover from this side anyway, so if we stuck ourselves over here, we might fare a bit of a better chance.
Boom.
Yes, you are. Look forward to it. You should be delighted to be killed by the big old chief
Alert!
himself.
Covenant dropships are inbound.
I'm going after him.
Smile for the camera.
Hey, hey, hey! Nice shot! Oh!
We are not moving up this time until we have a good opportunity to secure our
Requesting
home.
reinforcements at our position. Roger, Cortana.
We'll
Echo
take that,
419 on approach.
and then we'll slip back over here for a bit better cover. While it is the low ground, we have a lot more rocks to rely on. Hold still.
Get it out! Get clear! Out of the way, man! I had a shot! Get that for you. Whoa!
Make sure we can't miss this one. Or of course he's gonna flinch from the other guy shooting. Now we make our way back over to the entrance. Although we're not gonna see too many of them from here. We have a vantage point, that should be our best spot.
Take that!
Over here, boys, we got cover.
Flag out! Show me what you got! Show me what you got!
Maybe not the best cover over here. At least not up high. We'll need a lot of rocks to hide behind, and then a good line of sight. And we're already back down to absolutely no health once more. Oh, there's so many of you. And no grenades. Would have made this part much easier. Go on, show your face. Wait, probably shouldn't do that. I have no ammo left. While we're not being noticed. You know, I think we are on something here. While we're this far back, we can definitely pick our battles instead of having to fight at a disadvantage every single time. I'm waiting. Okay. Well, we're dead. Right there would have been a better spot for that grenade. Alright, back up. We'll need to take this part extremely cautiously. And grab a few grenades while we're here. If we can lead them down that corridor, well, makes it much easier to deal with. There we go, that should at least take care of the jackal. Hopefully. You're kidding me. Boy, is this rough. At least we're almost done with this part, hopefully. And we're still not over. Hopefully no more than respawning while we're in mid-combat here. Checkpoint done. We are finally almost out of here. Here's where the music kicks in once more. The big boys. So now, we have to deal with the Himbo Squad. Not a pistol to be found. We will have to be sneaky and throwing a sniper bullet then. We did at least get our checkpoint. Ah, swing and miss. There's one. Was that supposed to be a boss fight?
Cortana to Echo 419. We've reached the gravity lift and are
The
ready for
triumphant music.
reinforcements.
Offer
Copy
what?
that, Cortana?
Just 2 cans of
Hold tight,
worms.
gentlemen. Bullhammer out.
Once we're inside the ship, I can home in on the captain's command neural interface. He'll probably be in or near the ship's brig, which should narrow our search.
Echo 419 inbound. Clear the drop zone.
Here come the boys. Get ourselves a little raid going on that ship.
Everybody out!
All aboard. To Celestial we go. And that's one way to climb a tower.
We're in. I've got a good lock on the captain's CNI transponder. No Covenant defenses detected.
What? There's no cover.
Just for the sake of keeping our sanity together, I think that's where we leave off. Well, spent a lot more time on that last part than I would have hoped, but Truth and Reconciliation is going to be the first of the big issues we have to deal with. Next will definitely be Assault on the Control Room and 2 Betrayals. Those are generally the hardest levels for us to deal with. Stream might happen tomorrow, count it more likely not. But if so, could be Noida, could be something else. Sunday is going to be our next Guilty Gear stream, and then I hope to see you all here for Melty Blood coming next week. And then, who knows? I guess all of October is going to be fighting game month for us. Then November we start gearing up for the release of Halo Infinite at the end of this year. It's been a wonderful 3 months so far. I'm actually very excited to get this done. But for now, class is dismissed. Hope to see you